Drafting with Numot.
Hello everybody, Kenji back again. Not for a drafting with Numot, but this time we're going to try a vintage with Numot, a constructed with Numot, vintage style. I've been on a vintage kick lately, and oh boy is it fun. The particular deck that I'm playing is known as Paradoxical Outcome Storm, or some other names, but basically it's the best of the best, right? Vintage goes back all the way to the beginning. You have cards like all the Moxes, Lotus, Time Walk, Ancestral, etc., etc., etc. And what this deck does is it normally wins with Tendrils of Agony, but the means that it gets there are varied, I guess you could say. No better way than to just play through the matches to show you guys what it's all about, but you can win on turn one, and I've got plenty of turn one wins with this deck. That being said, of course, vintage, my opponents will also be doing super busted things, so you can get these weird scenarios where both players counter each other for a little while, and then you end up winning with like a Lavinia or something, a 2-2. But yeah. Constructed with Numot, I'm going to play some vintage. Hopefully you guys like. Stay tuned. Okie dokie, here we are for the first round of this Vintage Cube League. Sorry, Vintage Constructed League. It does play out a lot like Vintage Cube, though, as you'll come to see. And our opening hand is not quite good enough. You don't actually need any land sources a lot of the time, but only have one mana source, it's not blue, and I don't have any counters in my hand, so we can go ahead and pitch this. Go down to hopefully a better 6. This hand's pretty bad as well. I don't have any combo pieces. I do have Demonic Tutor, but this just doesn't do anything. Like turn 1 Sensei's Divining Top is not where you want to be in this format. You'll notice that I take a lot of mulligans, just because you're looking for a lot of more broken things to do, and this hand is close, but not quite there either. 2 Mox Opals is my only mana sources. I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and go to 4. This is not where we wanted to be, and this 4-card hand looks okay. So we have Mana Crypt, Top, Opal, and probably Paradoxical Outcome. I'm going to keep over Time Twister ? It's actually close, but this is definitely a keep. We're gonna lose the Ponder and the Tendrils for sure. I think I'm going to lose the Paradoxical and keep the Time Twister, is the game plan here. Don't quite get to Time Twister on turn 1, which is unfortunate, but do still get to do a decent bit here with a 4-card hand. And we do have a Mox Pearl on top as well. Okay, so I'm going to go for the Mox Pearl draw. And then hopefully Time Twister resolves. Let's see what we're playing against. You can oftentimes know what you're playing against just by seeing what they play on turn 1. This doesn't give us enough information yet. This could be Storm. This could be a Paradoxical Mirror Match. Imperial Seal. I'm going to guess it's Storm then, if they're doing this. But seeing as how I've just picked up Vintage myself, I'm still learning the other decks, but I would guess that this is some Storm. That is to say true Storm, where they go off with like Dark Petition, Dark Rituals, and that type of thing. All right, so let's go ahead and draw the Pearl for the turn. Let's see if they have an upkeep Ancestral here. I think they would have cast it already if they had Ancestral Recall, although I guess they would have had to discard a card. Let's choose heads, great. Alright, let's play Mox Pearl. And let's hope this Time Twister resolves. Nice. All right. And what did we hit? Oh, some very, very good cards. So we might actually be able to win here on turn 2, because I'm definitely going to play out the Black Lotus, and I have Force of Will backup, which is good. Play out the Black Lotus, pop the Lotus for blue, Float the Sensei's Divining Top, and then Paradoxical Outcome, all 4 cards back to my hand. Flusterstorm. All right, a little bit wrecked here, as Flusterstorm is just going to hard counter that because I can't force all of the copies of the Flusterstorm, of course. This is still fine, though. Like, yes, Paradoxical Outcome gets countered. I'm going to draw a card here as well, but I get to redraw my top with Ponder, potentially. Chain of Vapor. Yeah, let's go ahead and Ponder. We have the Flooded Strand to shuffle afterwards anyway, so it's not a big deal. Oh, and we're definitely going to want to shuffle. So let's put the C on the bottom. And then we're actually going to draw the land first and draw the top next turn, just in case they have like a duress effect. I don't want to lose my top. This looks like a Mystical or Vampiric Tutor on upkeep. That's okay. Tropical Island. So they're playing Sultai. So maybe they have like a, yeah, Collector Oof. And that's a card that you need to counter. It's too good versus me. I'm actually going to pitch my Force of Will here. Just in case they play another, I can Chain of Vapor it. I don't want to keep the Force and not have another blue card in my hand. Okay, so we lost the flip, whatever. Let's play out the top. Let's take a look. Demonic Tutor. Well, that's not a bad one. And I have access to 1, 2, 3, currently 4 mana. I could go for it here. Let's see. Because I actually have more than 4 mana. So let's do it. Let's draw the Demonic Tutor. Let's Demonic Tutor. Let's go get Tinker. And now what I do here is I play a land, tap this, Chain of Vapor my Mana Crypt. I don't need to actually sacrifice if I want to. Play out the Mana Crypt. I get a little bit wrecked here if they have another counter spell, but again, I go for the high risk, high reward play here. And then I Tinker. And the only card you almost ever Tinker for in this deck is the Bolas' Citadel, because that lets you play basically your entire deck, provided you don't hit a land like this. So the Citadel is a card. You may look at the top card of your library anytime you play the top card of your library. If you cast spell this way, pay life equal to its mana cost. But if the opponent doesn't deal with the Citadel, I will just win the game here. Effectively. And so the combo is Bolas' Citadel with Sensei's Divining Top, because with the top, you can tap it to draw the card. If it's like a land, put the top back on top of your library, and then with Citadel, cast the top for 1 mana. Narset doesn't do it either. Narset doesn't beat Citadel because Citadel's not drawing cards. This can be annoying, but it's not often going to be good enough. Force of Will is unique, interesting. They might not have another blue card in their hand, but we should be probably pretty good to go here unless I get really, really unlucky. And yeah, we found a top. So let's cast the top, holding priority in case there was a instant on top. There's not. Can play the land, play the vault for 1 mana. I think I want to just draw the Narset. I don't want to pay 3 life for that. Play the top. Oh, I'm so stupid. They have a Narset, so I couldn't actually draw. I just needed to cast. That was silly of me. So Narset's not a draw. Time Walk will keep. Let's cast the Time Walk now. Okay, they did force it. Now remember, Paradoxical doesn't actually draw me extra cards. So instead, what I should do is use the top. Look at the top 3. Okay, we can go like that. Play the Soul Ring for 1 life. Play the Opal for 0 mana. And we can keep filtering through our deck. Because again, with Paradoxical on top, I can't actually draw extra cards since they have Narset. Could shuffle away here if I want. With the fetch, I think we'll choose to do that. And a mental misstep, and again, we'll do the same kind of trick. Look at the top of our library, rearrange the top 3. Can cast the Teferi, go to 1 life if I do that. I think that's probably okay. Yeah, I think we'll cast the Teferi and go to 1. And then I need to bounce my own Mana Crypt. So I don't die. I'm not going to get to draw a card, but this way I won't die. And we'll still leave the mist up on top. Okay, so let's return Mana Crypt to my hand. And pass. We have Narset activation again next turn to help get us through the slog of cards. And because it's the opponent's turn, I can actually draw the misstep if I want to. But obviously I'm in a slightly awkward position. It's crazy how many new cards have affected Vintage in such a manner, you know? Again, I'm sure if there are any Vintage aficionados rather, in the or watching this video, you'll recognize a lot of misplays from me. Courser of Krufix, interesting. Okay. Well, that technically does hit me for lethal. I don't need too much to win here, but I am in a precarious position, obviously. Alright, so... I guess we'll draw the outcome. I could play the land off the top, but I can't fetch anyways, so I might as well just use the Narset here. Mystical Tutor, okay. Well, I guess I'm probably just dead, aren't I? No, not quite dead. Let's see. Merchant Scroll on the top of my library. So I can actually... Oh my god, this is going to be sick. I can... Let's see. No, because I can't draw the card. What am I thinking? So I uptick Teferi. Float, float, float. Float. I need to Paradoxical my Teferi and bounce their Courser. And then I can Mystical Tutor for Chain of... No, already Chain of Vapored, so I would need to get... Yawgmoths. Okay, so we can do this. We can Paradoxical all these. Now remember, I'm not going to draw any cards because of the Narset, but this is more of just about floating the mana and getting a bunch of fresh cards for Storm. Then I need to replay the Teferi, hope they don't have a counter. Great. Bounce that. And I can play land here. I might as well run out some of these. I guess this doesn't really matter for Storm. And just pass. Okay. So I think we win next turn. Because I Mystical for Yawgmoth's Will. Then Yawgmoth's Will. Oh, they have a Dryad Arbor that they can go fetch? Oh, no! Oh, does that kill me? That's sick if it does. Is there anything I can Mystical Tutor for and then draw one card with the top? Oh, that's so funny. Wait, yes, I can. I can put the tendrils on top. Actually draw it and cast it. Oh no, I'm missing black because I didn't play another. Oh my gosh, what a game. I tapped the wrong land. I'm an idiot. I could have... So if I had tapped the Tundra for Mystical, I would have been able to put the tendrils on top, draw the tendril to the top because I haven't drawn a card on their turn for Narset, and then tendrils for 4 life, and then, I mean, presumably win from there. Oh my gosh. Whew. Yeah, so like I said, this format is crazy wonky. There are so many different lines of play. It is not easy. Versus a green deck, I do like bringing in balance. A lot of times you end up cutting these tutors. Bring in Blightsteel as another good tinker target. I think I probably need to bring in the second Chain of Vapor for Narsets, and we saw like the Collector Oofs. Flusterstorm is extra counter. Cut one top. That's crazy. Love this format, but it's very tough. Especially this format, I need to take a little bit more time before making my plays. Alrighty, game 2 of the first round of Vintage. And our hand is... fine, it's fine. I'm going to keep this off the back of the Force of Will and the fast mana that I have. Play out Tundra, play out Mox Opal. I'm not going to play the Mana Crypt. Wouldn't let me hold up the Paradoxical anyways because Opal doesn't produce any mana. And my hope is that I get to play Narset with Force of Will backup next turn. Oh man, Fast Bond is scary. I'm going to let that resolve though. Because I think what I would rather do is try to protect the Narset. But this could bite me in the butt. Fast Bond recently just got unrestricted or unbanned or something. I don't remember which one exactly, but a lot of people are playing the 4 times Fast Bond decks now, which is really, really cool. That, I think, probably gets countered. Alright, play a Dryad Arbor. They only have 2 cards left in their hand. There have been some like infinite mill Hedron Crab decks going around as well, among other things. Alright, let's try to play Nars. Go look for something juicy. Found a Mox Emerald and a Time Walk. Alright, let's take the top and play it with our floating mana. And then pass the turn holding up top activation. Yep, probe is good. And if they cast something super relevant, I can look for a Force of Will with the top, draw the Force, and then like counter it, pitching the scroll. should I need to. I also just realized that last game. Remember that one extra life I played by accidentally playing the extra top when I couldn't draw, because I do. All right, there's the collect roof, so I can't use my artifacts anymore. But that's actually okay, as I am drawing the Tolarian Academy, which is going to give us a nice boost for sure. So a few different lines I can take here. I think I'm going to draw with Narset first and see what happens. That's a lot of good cards. Do I want to take the Will? If I take the Will, we have some pretty nice lineups. Okay. I think I'll take the Will for setup, and then what I'm going to do is go tutor for Ancestral, cast the Ancestral. Nice, and then we can just time walk here. Any point to playing the Ruby out? Not yet. Hold it for Storm. Okay. So, can I win this turn is the question. Because it probably is pretty close. Let's see. I have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana right now. 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we win, right? I think I go Yawgmoths, Merchant Scroll for Chain of Vapor. Bounce the Oof, and that should be game. Because now I can do it all. I can blue, activate draw, Paradoxical those 4. Draw a card with the top trigger, then replay them all out. And yeah, this looks like it's going to be pretty nice from here. 2, 3, 4. I have 5 mana, but only 2 blue available. So let's start with a Ancestral. And then I guess I'm going to play the land from the graveyard. Tundra, Time Walk. And then I can top, plus look. More stuff. Brainstorm is pretty good since we get to put the Citadel back in our deck. Although, can I just hardcast the Citadel? I can just hardcast the Citadel next turn, so I guess we'll still keep the balance, but oh, rather the Brainstorm, but hopefully I win this time and I don't kill myself. I'm at 8 life. Okay, so play that. Black, black, black. 1, Citadel. Draw a card. Play the top. Don't want the Teferi. Draw a card. Play the top. Well, there's Tendrils, and I already have 4 spells. So, should be easy from here if I play this right. Teferi. Bounce. Cast. Add black. chain my own Mox. Play the Mox. Black. And tendrils. All right. Again, with Vintage, there are so many different lines that you can take that win. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Like, if you're in this type of position, it doesn't matter if you take the first best way or the second best way to win. Obviously, you shouldn't play sloppy still, but if all roads lead to home, you know. Okay, so we're playing against a fast spawn deck. Do I want to bring in some graveyard hate? Because a lot of times, fast spawn decks do attempt to somewhat go off with their graveyard, although I don't think that's necessary. Can bring in the Crocus. I'm sure they're going to have some Wastelands or whatever too. Maybe the Flusterstorm's not actually good enough. Crocus for specifically like Leovold, I think is okay. Let's do this and go to game 3. Okay, here we are for game 3 of the first round of this Vintage League. Hand's pretty good. Looks like they're going to probe me here. Not going to force that. I don't have a turn 1 Teferi, but it's close. But we do have a lot of fast mana, Paradoxical, and some nice interaction in the form of Force and Teferi, so. Okay, Sapphire resolves. And not going to Force of Will or Preordain. 2 cards on bottom. I guess my best draw next turn is Tinker. Tinker probably wins. Or close to it. Ooh, Mana Crypt was also pretty spicy, though. Alright, so let's go Mox. Land. Ring. Crypt. And I kind of want to go for the Paradoxical right now, but I think I can probably afford to wait. Yeah, this kind of smells like a Flusterstorm or something here to me. The way that they're holding up the blue before fetching and whatnot. And remember, they know that I have the outcome in my hand. It looks a little bit weird playing out the Crypt, but I think it's correct too. So 2, 4, 6. So I can Paradoxical on my turn and be able to pay for a Flusterstorm, which is nice. Now I think I might want to just run out the Teferi. And let's go get... I guess it doesn't matter since they have actual factual strip mine. So this is going to prevent them from being able to counter my things. I can't Paradoxical this turn, but I think this is good. Do I want to draw a card right now, or should I wait? I guess is the question. I guess let's float mana with Mana Crypt, bounce the Crypt, and see what I draw. Okay. Yeah, so we'll just pass. If they had a fetch, I couldn't minus on Teferi because we know they have the Dryad Arbors in their deck. I'm going to need to find another mana source relatively quickly, though, because of that strip mine. Depending on what they do here. This just looks like some kind of X spell. Yeah, they're gonna Green Sun. And honestly, I have to counter this because they can get the oof if I don't. So, Force of Will and the Green Sun prevents them from oofing me. Now I can play Mana Crypt and Paradoxical. Oh, no, they're going to Wasteland my Tundra. Well, I guess I got... No, I didn't get punished, because if I had gotten an island, they just would have played the Wasteland prior. So, hoping to hit a blue source here. Beautiful. So let's uptick. Play land, play Crypt. Now, I could get greedy here. I could get greedy by bouncing my Teferi as well, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to leave the Teferi on the battlefield now that it's resolved. And so we're just going to Paradoxical the 3 here. And we hit some juicies. Perfect. So we can Mox Opal now. Soul Ring. Sapphire. Now we can cast Miss Lavinia. And I'll go ahead and run out the Ruby. We'll hold the Mana Crypt in hand. And now with Mox Opal, I have access to Yawgmoth's Will, Paradoxical. So now me having lands is not as relevant. Lavinia is an all-star in Vintage. Right, it stops the opponent from casting Force of Will effectively. It stops them from casting any Mox and whatnot. Time Twister. That is a bold move, but okay, we'll take it. I guess when you need to find something, you need to find something, eh? Fast Bond, okay. Yeah, land. More land. Yeah, you got it. Gush. Oh no, opponent. So any of those free spells gets countered by... Oh, you know what? They might have just been casting the Gush to bounce the 2 lands to their hand to untap them, in essence. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. They just Gush to bounce 2 lands to their hand. Not to actually draw cards, since Lavinia counters Gush. Sure. Let's see, how did they order? Double bottom. Ooh, Demonic Tutor, okay. I'm not quite sure what they can find here with just 1 mana. Maybe they get... No, Black Lotus or anything doesn't work. Ancestral, I guess? Yeah, sure. And pass. All right, and that should be game over. Because now I have free reign, and it's not going to take much for me to win here. So let's just uptick here. Play Mox. Play Vault. Float, float, float. Add black here. Go ahead and Paradoxical. I'm going to go ahead and Paradoxical Lavinia, since we're planning on going off this turn. And I already have Teferi on the battlefield, so I don't need the Lavinia. And that should do her. Look at all these spells. Look at all these spells. Black. Haven't played a land yet, right? I have not. So let's go Demonic Tutoring. Let's just go get ourselves our little Tendrils of Agony. Black, black. And that'll be good enough. All right, GG. How was that for a look at Vintage? Woo! And that was only the first match. Stay tuned for more. Okay, here's round 2 of this Vintage League. My hand's a little bit slow, but I do have a quote-unquote turn 2. Oh, I was going to say quote-unquote turn 2 Tinker for Bolas's Citadel. Although with the Duress, I'm going to guess that we're playing against a Storm deck. And if that's the case, well, because I have no interaction, I might be dead rather quickly. We'll have to see. My guess is that the opponent takes the Time Walk, since it's... Well, actually, they might take Tinker just because if I Rip exactly like Black Lotus. I could potentially tinker on turn 1. Maybe that's their take. One of these. I don't think the Narset is of too much importance to them. What I'm really hoping is that I get to show you guys a turn 1 kill in one of these games, in one of these matches eventually, but that requires very specific setup. Alright, they did take the Tinker. Mox Ruby, Mana Vault, and a pass. Land was not an ideal draw for us. Guess we just have to land pass here. I should probably run out the Mox Opal versus them in case they Time Twister. At least have something on the board. Also plays like around Mind Break traps and whatnot. Though I don't think... And again, presumably they're on Storm. I don't think Storm runs that. Let's see if we're dead. Alright, there's the probe. I'll F6 now. Holding priority in Vintage is good even if you don't have anything, just because Force of Will and nonsense people often play around things even if you don't have it. There's a Time Walk of their own. Okay. Well, they have access to a lot of mana, but they still need some action. Marsh Flats, 2 cards left in hand. Yeah, they might just not have any gas. At least that's what I'm hoping. Okay. Flats gets them their second black source for something like a Dark Petition. We're going to see it. Black, black 3. Oh, yeah, this could be Dark Petition. Indeed it is. So they're going to have 3 black, 2 blue, and a red. They don't have any other fast mana, though, so I don't think Yawgmoth's Will would do anything here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yawgmoth's Will for... Yeah, I don't think that's good enough. My guess is that they just Tinker then. I think some Storm decks have been running Tinker and Citadel, so we'll see. Yeah, for sure. Alright, so they're going to get their own Citadel. Mana Crypt off the top. Lotus off the top. We need them to hit a land or something. Alright, so they bricked. Blech. Drawing my own Citadel there was not good. My only play is to Time Walk. Geez, another land. Alright. Narset, uptick. Can't even cast this Force of Will. So I guess I actually take Mox Sapphire here. Because if they somehow don't do anything next turn, or if they don't go off next turn, I can potentially cast my own Citadel. So we need them to brick. We need to get very lucky. That's not good for us. Oh, that's right, I had Narset, so they didn't get to actually draw a card off the Ponder. All they're doing is, like, shuffling. Okay, that's pretty funny. They did choose to shuffle, so they might have bricked. Wow, I think they did. I think they bricked. Nice. Okay. Narset stopped them a little bit there, and I drew Crypt. So I get to go Mana Crypt. Black, black, black. Citadel. And we might have just won. Hot tamales. That's nasty. Brainstorm. Let's see. Put the fetch, then the jet on top. Play the jet, play the fetch. Fetch away the Misty on top of my library. Now we get to Paradoxical, so... yeah, I'm not going to bounce the Narset. Oh, I should float first. Float. Bounce, 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 bounce. Okay. Play, 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 play. Activate this Narset. Hit another Narset. Float. Chain of Vapor. Crypt. Do I want to bounce my others? Yeah, Sackland, bounce Opal. Sackland, bounce Sapphire. Sackland, bounce Jet. Play, play, play. Narset out again. Keep this Narset, get through the land. Top. Play the top. Play the zeros. Float. This is one of those scenarios where can't really lose, so just kind of going through all the motions, even if they're a little bit loose. Eventually we'll find the way to go get the tendrils. Oh, there's the tendrils. Perfect. Never mind. I didn't even see it. Yeah. I probably should slow down on my explanation, or rather do a little more explaining, I should say. Because kind of right now I'm just going through the motions since I've played with this deck a bit now at this point. But anyways, so we bring in the Flusterstorm. Bring in the Mindbreak Traps. I don't think you need Ravenous Traps. Yeah, Flusterstorm, Mindbreak Traps. In. I don't think I need the Chain of Vapor or the Tutors. And let's go to game 2. All right, game 2, round 2. Opponent kept their 7. I don't think I can keep mine. No fast mana. I do have Force of Will for interaction, but this is just way too slow. Yeah, this is a keep, pitching the Citadel. I do have Mox Jet for black, so I can technically Demonic Tutor with this hand. It doesn't have any interaction for them right now, but it has enough broken cards that I think I can just keep this. Turn 1 defense grid. Okay. So nobody's going to counter stuff. Dark Ritual. Are they going to win turn 1? Oh, man. Sadistic Sacrament turn 1? Okay. So what do they take here? I guess they take my Tendrils. And then if they take my Tendrils, they're going to take my Monastery Mentor. Tendrils, Monastery Mentor, and maybe one of my Lavinia? That's kind of sick. If they do something like that, then I have very, very few win cons. Let's see what they took. Yeah, Mentor, Citadel, and Tendrils. All right, so we have our work cut out for us. Let's go Tutor. I guess I'm going to get the Tolarian Academy here. Yeah, my only win con now is killing them with... Wait, killing them with Lavinia. All right. Hey, I'm down for it. Let's have some fun. Let's boogie. Yeah. Okay, so if I look at the top three, then draw. Yeah, I think this will work. Look at the top three. Draw the lotus. Shuffle to where Paradoxical is now on top. Lotus. White. Bounce vault. Draw the Paradoxical. Play the vault. Paradoxical, all four. Yeah, see, we're still doing things. Treading water, but we're doing things. Go. Yeah, that resolves. Technically, I can pay Mental Misstep with that with Mana Vault, but no need to. I'm looking for Lavinia, and I'm looking for counters. That's our way to win this. All right, draw for turn. Let's... What should we do here? I guess let's just go for it, eh? Let's draw with top. Paradoxical. I'm going to see a lot of our library. There's a Lavinia. Okay. Cast that. Cast that. Play that. Lavinia. Vault. Top. Tinker doesn't really get much anymore either, does it? So let's look for like a white source. A Mindbreak Trap is good on top as well. Do I want to Tinker? Again, Tinker doesn't really get much here, but I guess I can Tinker away the Mana Vault now and go get like a Mox. Pearl. Oh, whoops, I used all my blue, didn't I? Well, that's too bad. So I can't actually cast Teferi again. Let's draw Ponder next turn and shuffle those away, and then we'll just pitch 2 lands here. Alright. Lavinia online. This can win the game. I mean, I'm just going to basically counter everything they do, and then beat them down with Lavinia, so. Oh, you know what's actually a sick play here? I can Teferi, bounce their Sapphire, and because I have Lavinia, they can't recast it. Oh, that's insane. For sure. Welcome to Vintage, ladies and gentlemen. Merchant Scroll, sure. Yeah, at this point, I just go get counters. Like Merchant Scroll, go get a counter, and we're just going to beat them down for 8 turns with Lavinia. How sick is that? Not very, but kind of funny. Yeah, I have no other way to deal damage, right? Yeah, we just get our counters and sit back. This is freaking hilarious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Duress. Sure. We will use a mental misstep on that. A 4-mana mental misstep of all things. Look at the top, draw the Mindbreak trap, and then shuffle. Actually, I guess I should look at the bottom card first, but we know there are 2 dead lands on top that we don't want. All right, so we can go ahead and shuffle that. And sure, Paradoxical. Draw some more cards. Draw some more counters to pitch. Cards to pitch. And they scooped! The opponent got rid of all of my ways to win except for 2 2/2s in the deck. Except we were still able to technically go off and, well, beat him. GG's. Here's the 3rd round of this Vintage Constructed League. I'm on the draw. I do have a Force. Yeah, this is like a turn 2 Teferi as well, but I have Citadel in my hand. I don't know. I think this is probably a ship. We can almost certainly do better. That's kind of tempting, though. Like turn 2 Teferi. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. I think this is probably borderline, but in the end, I'm going to end up keeping. It's very close, though. All right, opponent mulligan to 6. Tropical Island, turn 1. Pearl. I'll have to force a Collector Oof if that's what they have here. If they have a Survival of the Fittest, I probably end up countering that too. Force of Will is another card that I certainly have to counter. I'm going to pitch the Time Twister. Keep the Teferi in my hand. Well, drawing Narset now is kind of awkward. As Narset Teferi, or rather Narset Time Twister is a pretty nice combo. Hopefully the opponent doesn't have another Lavinia, otherwise I won't be able to cast any of my 3-drops next turn. Hell, even an Oof would be pretty bad. Shaman's okay, we can deal with that standalone. I think I'm going to lead with Narset here. Although I could definitely see playing Teferi and bouncing the Deathrite Shaman. It's just too good if this Narset resolves and I get to start digging for our good cards. Alright, immediately activate. And what do we got? Vamp Tutor on upkeep. Yeah, that could work. I already have Citadel in my hand, though. But I'm okay taking the Vamps. I mean, it's possible that I like Vamp Tutor for Brainstorm to put the Citadel back in my deck. Oh, they are playing this deck. Okay, I got a little bit bamboozled here. They're going to kill my Narset. So now I think I'm just going to draw for turn and see what we find. Interesting. Can't really do everything I want to here. Honestly, I might just go like this. Teferi, bounce your Vengevine, pass. Obviously, the Deathrite Shaman could then kill the Teferi, but I think I kind of like this play. Yep, that's fine. So they have Vengevine and 3 unknowns. Let's go for that Tutor end of turn. And I'm probably just going to get an artifact of some sort here if it resolves. Well, it looks like they have the mental misstep. No big deal. Okay, Mox Ruby was a good draw too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, potentially 6. I'm actually 1 mana off of just hard casting this Citadel, so I think I'm actually going to bounce their Deathrite Shaman and see what happens. Obviously, if they draw any land, they can just Vengevine down my Teferi, but I like the risk. Nice, just Deathrite Shaman. That's good. And a Rootwalla. Okay, good. And we found the black source. Wow. Lucky, lucky me. Alright, we get to jam Citadel and start going off. Let's uptick Tinker. Tinker away the Citadel holding priority. And oh, that didn't work. I was supposed to hold priority. Let's get the top. Lotus. Vault, and this should be an easy win from here. Play the Flooded Strand. Draw the Force of Will. Play the top. Draw the Misstep. Play the top. Time Walk. Draw the land. Play the top. Play the Mox. And looks like opponent just had enough, and they scooped. Yeah, Bolas' Citadel with Sensei's Divining Top is, at worst, like, pay 1 life, draw a card. Pretty disgusting. Alright, we bring in Balance versus them. I do like bringing in Blightsteel. The Ravenous Traps may be a little bit awkward. I do need to bring in another Chain of Vapor. I don't love Graveyard Hate versus their deck, but it's not like the worst. End up cutting these tutors often enough, and even a top is fine to cut. Yeah, not sure if I want the Ravenous Traps / Tormod's Crypts. I'm actually not thrilled with Teferi's versus them, but I think I'm going to leave them in. We'll leave it like this. I'm not going to bring any Graveyard Hate. If they go off with Survival Vengevine, so be it. It's mainly the like the Collector Oofs and Lavinia and... Oh, I guess I should bring in Caracas for Lavinia. That was a mistake. Yeah, definitely should have brought in Caracas for Lavinia, but otherwise I think I like that sideboarding. Yeah, this is a good hand. It doesn't do much, but it prevents the opponent from doing too much as well, as I have a turn 1 Force and a turn 1 Teferi. We'll see what they lead with. Heath into Jet. Shaman's okay. And a pass. Alright, we'll take it. That is a lot of Mox. Okay. Mox, Mox. 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 Teferi? And I'll bounce their Deathrite Shaman. Time Walk. Okay, I mean, I guess I'm going to do it. Well, I might as well. Need to find one of any number of cards here to really go off, but pretty good turn 1, I would say. Oh my gosh, that's good. Okay, so let's uptick Teferi. Let's Time Twister for a new hand. We might win this turn. Yeah, looking like we're probably going to win this turn with the Paradoxical, I would say. Paradox these. Everything but the Teferi, because they could have counters now. And yeah, welcome to my hand. Let's see. Play all these. This could be a turn 2 win, I guess. How many of those? I have 2. I already have an Opal, so let's play Narset. And dig for any number of cards that win here. Yeah, scroll gets another Paradoxical. And I would imagine another Paradoxical probably wins. Might as well play out the vault. Let's play out this Opal. Sack the old one. Tap for mana, tap mana, tap mana. Tap for mana. Paradoxical everything but Teferi again. So many cards, so much mana. All right, and there's our tendrils. So that will be good enough. Let's just go Lotus. Cast the Soul Ring, whatever. Sack for black. And tendrils you out on turn 2. Not bad. Not a turn 1 win, but I mean, you can obviously get the the power level of this deck, and you can see how you can win on turn 1. Oh wait, no, this was technically a turn 1 win, wasn't it? Because I time walked, so it was like a turn 1 win. Hey, there you go. Let's go to round 4. Round 4 of this vintage league. I am on the play, and this hand is so close. Just needs one blue source for me to keep, but as it doesn't have a blue source, we'll have to ship it down. Mulligan it up. And yeah, I can go ahead and keep this hand. Not great, but I don't think you can go down to 5 and hopefully we can just kind of dump our hand and resolve this Time Twister. So let's go Tundra, Jet, Opal, and pass. Let's see what the opponent does. Scalding Tarn, yes. Fetching a what? Tropical Island, okay. Brainstorm resolves. I think I'm just going to draw naturally and not Mystical Tutor, if my game plan is just to throw out a Time Twister anyways. This is Green Sun? Oh, so we're going to get Dryad Arbor? Okay. Yeah, let's just draw naturally. Pearl was actually a pretty good draw. So let's play out the Pearl. Gives us Metalcraft for Mox Opal. Misty. And go for a Time Twister here. Alright, they do have a Force. They pitched a Gitaxian Probe. That's fine. So that tells me they might not have another blue card in their hand. They didn't fire off the Probe because maybe they wanted to hold it for the Force of Will. Ramanap's fine. Okay, play the Scalding Tarn from their graveyard, get a Volcanic Island. And pass. I'm going to Mystical Tutor end of turn. And yeah, let's just get Tinker and go for it. Pray that they don't have a counter. Sack the Opal. Nice, they didn't. Let's get Citadel. We can cast Merchant Scroll. Go get Ancestral. Flooded Strand on top. We can play that. We can play the Soul Ring for 1 mana. We can shuffle away the Tolarian Academy. We can shuffle away the island. Play the Narset for 3 life. Activate Narset to get past the island. And get a top. Perfect. And now that we have top, it should be a pretty easy game from here. Let's float. Play the second Opal. Keep the untapped opal, free Mox. I'll just play that top for 1 life. Mox. Teferi will lock it up for sure, because now we know that they can't have a counter. Float, 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 float. Go activate withdraw, paradox. All of these here, leaving the Teferi just in case. It's safe. And the opponent scoops it up. All right, easy bingo, bango, bongo. So we're playing against another creature deck. If they're running Ramanap Excavator, I'm going to assume they're running Fast Bond. Let's get the balance in. Let's get Blightsteel in. Let's get Chain of Vapor in. Let's cut the tutor, cut a top. I'm probably going to want to bring in an extra island and maybe even the Crocus for another mana source. Cut 1 Narset. And something else which I'm not sure of. Maybe I can cut 2 Narsets. Or 1 Teferi, actually. Yeah, and let's go to game 2. Here's game 2, round 4. This is pretty close to a turn 1 win. 1 spell, 2 spell, 3 spell, 4 spell, 5 spell, 6 spell, 7 spell. Well, maybe not turn 1 win, but it does have a very good paradoxical outcome. Although, depending on what the opponent does, I might need to pitch my outcome to the force. Yeah, Black Lotus resolves. Preordain's okay. All right, there are scarier things than Preordain, so I'm okay with that. Let's see how they go. It's like playing Vintage Cube Storm every single game. It's great. It is so great. All right, 1 top, 1 bottom. Plays the Forest. Plays Narset. And I have to pitch my Paradoxical to counter that. Or at least attempt to counter. It's too bad. Merchant Scroll was a decent draw, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and go get Ancestral here. And then cast the Ancestral immediately off of Petal. Okay, now we can Mox, Opal. Can almost cast Narset. 1 blue off. But again, I want to run out all these artifacts versus them because we know they have Lavinia and whatnot. And it looks like the opponent kept this maybe a little bit of a risky hand and did not get there on their own front. So I think I go with the Narset over Lavinia. They didn't have a counter last turn. Oh, okay. Looks like they might have just drawn one then. Oh, apparently I should have led with Lavinia. Dryad Arbor pass. We'll take that. Just need to draw a little bit of action and we'll be good to go. Hopefully I don't die to my own mana crypt here. Yeah. I should have just played it safe and played out the Lavinia first. Uh-oh, I've lost quite a few flips here. All right. I'm thinking if it's worth attacking for 2 and then I end up taking 1. Probably not. When this deck wins, it doesn't need to get in for those little points of damage, usually. So, I'm going to hold off. That actually might be lethal here. 1 spell, 2 spell, 3 spell, 4 spell, 5 spell, 6. It's close, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and attack with Lavinia now because of that draw. What I'm counting is I can target my own permanents with Chain of Vapor and then sacrifice a land to recast them. right, heads. Nice, we won. So let's see. 1 spell, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, not quite. Almost, but not quite. I'm going to Pyroblast my Lavinia. This is not Pyroblast. This is Ramanap. Vithian Renegades. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need much to win here. I'm at 5, though. Oh, another land. Okay, so... Chain, Crypt, Opal, Sapphire, Tendrils. It's not quite good enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically 6 if I want to bounce my Lavinia, but I don't want to bounce Lavinia. Okay. 1 spell, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's technically lethal if I want to go for it. Oh, never mind. Never mind, what am I talking about? We go for it here. So Chain Mana Crypt, Sack Island, Chain Mox Opal, Sack, Chain the Mox Sapphire, Sack, bounce the Lavinia, play, 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 and Tendrils. Beautiful! Hey! Just enough. I was forgetting that Mox Sapphire actually counted for 2 because I play the Mox Sapphire from my hand and then I play it again after the bounce. So I was actually 1 storm off. Wow, we're currently sitting at 4-0 here in this Vintage League. Let's go. Let's get to the 5th match. Let's see if we can 5-0. Okie dokie. This is round 5, the final round. This is for a trophy. We're currently 4-0, and I'm on the draw. My hand is kind of junky, honestly. I think you could probably keep this hand, but I'm going to go for something a little bit better. And yikes, no land means... No land means I'm going to have to go another mulligan. Man, this hand is also really, really bad, but it has potential. I can keep this, pitch the Tendrils, pitch one of the Opals, and I guess just hope that we draw like a paradoxical outcome. And that honestly might just be game over. I mean, I need to draw like Chain of Vapor now, because I can't cast any of these 0 mana artifacts. So we just go land pass. Turn 1 Lavinia might be GG. Into Teferi. Oh gosh. Yeah, I think that's game over already. Although notably, had I kept my first hand, I still think I would have lost to Lavinia too, right? I just didn't have any interaction. All right. Good enough for a concede. I'm going to assume they're playing the same deck I am, but hard to say with just Lavinia and Teferi. They could be on one of a few decks. But in the dark, I'm going to bring in Flusterstorm and Chain of Vapor, and then just cut the 2 tutors. Oh, and the Crocus. I remember this time. This is the card that I frequently forget. It's Crocus. Crocus is great versus Lavinia. All right, game 2 of the final round. where we lost to a turn 1 Lavinia. This hand looks good. Turn 1 Lavinia is a way that I have often won games as well, for the record. Like, sometimes you just play a turn 1 Lavinia on the play and your opponent can't beat it for similar reasons as you saw in the previous game. I just couldn't cast anything. The real question I have is, do I want to go for the turn 1 Time Twister? Go for like Emerald Vault Land Twister. Who can say? Because I think it might be better if I just go Land, Emerald, Scroll. And scroll for Force of Will here. And then pass. And then I go for turn 2 Lavinia with Force backup. Also, now that the opponent knows I have a Force of Will in my hand, they're a little bit less inclined to do anything drastic. Ooh, that was a good draw. Sheesh. All right, I'm going to go for the Lavinia here. I'm going to force back pitching Time Twister. Looks like they might have a Flusterstorm. Indeed they do. What did they pitch? They pitched a Force to their original Force, so they had a lot of counters. Okay. And then we'll play the Vault and pass. Presumably Ancestral Recall is safe, unless they jam Narset here, which would be poopy. Oh, come on! Well, rest in peace in pieces. That might be game over. I guess I could draw like Tinker or something. Notably, I can always Ancestral on their turn to draw one. Oh my... Did we just do it? Whatever. I doubt you have another Force. That'd be crazy. Oh, you do? What? No! We drew the Tinker, but they had their third Force of Will. Absurdity. Absolute absurdity. Wow. That's crazy. Welcome to Vintage. I'm going to go ahead and Ancestral as a cycle in response. Maybe I hit Mental Misstep. Oh, man. Disgusting. Yep. Well, if you have somehow another Force of Will, then I'm going to say, what the hell? All right, we got him. Outcome only pitches to Force, basically. Although, again, I can Paradoxical for 1 on their turn to draw a card. I think that's actually a counter. I think top is too scary. Oh, they drew their last Force! Holy moly. All right. Top deck battles. Come on, Narset. Narset off the top. Oh, what a game. Well, that's not going to do anything. That's all 4 Forces. If they're Tinker, or if they had Force when after they cast Tinker, I would have pooped my pants. That's what I would have done. Pooped my pants. Again, Probe doesn't do anything because I can't draw an extra card and with Narset on the battlefield. Yeah, top's going to keep them in this, or rather, top's going to win them this game at this point. Crazy, crazy game. Okay. Oh, they're paradoxical. I see. I see they're casting Paradoxical. Well, that gets Narset off the field for a turn, hopefully. And I don't really have to worry about counters anymore, since, again, all 4 Force of Wills are gone, so... Yeah, maybe I can draw something to get out of this now. Island, wasn't it? Narset, Narset, Time Twister, Citadel. Oh, I might be dead next turn. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you're saying there's a chance. I mean, they have 2 Narsets in their hand, and I don't have a blue card for Force anyway, so... I think we have to shuffle here. Okay. Well, the good news is they can't play land plus Narset into Time Twister to just insta-kill me, basically, since I have the Narset as well. Yeah, we might still make a game out of this. I'm probably dead if they have a land for for Citadel this turn, but like if I just Narset, if they pass and I hit, say, an Ancestral, or sorry, Yawgmoth's Will. All right. Well, they didn't go for the Citadel; they went for Narset. Ah, they hit a Time Walk? No me gusta. Okay, that might be game over now. I'm surprised they didn't just go for the Citadel jam. Yeah, darn it. Because I certainly expect them to do it now. Alright, F6. If you have the win, you have the win. Remember, they can't draw with top, so it's not a for sure thing. This is just to shuffle their library. They've already used Time Walk. Okay. Can you kill me? Maybe activate the top. Go looking again. Chain of Vapor. What did they target? Oh, they're targeting their spells, and then they're just going to kill me that way, eh? Yeah, that'll do it. Well played. They did the chain trick. Again, this doesn't kill me yet this turn, but actually, if Narset, Time Twister, Lotus are the last 3... No, they still have the Citadel active. Never mind, they can still cast stuff off the top of their library. What am I talking about? Oh, wait, they did have Tendrils. Okay, my mistake. They just had it. GG's. Well, darn, I really wanted a 5-0, but hey, 4-1 in a vintage constructed league. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. This is something very different from what I normally do. That is to say, I don't normally play Vintage Constructed. Obviously, I've played Legacy Cube enough. And if you've watched for any amount of time, you know I play a lot of Vintage Storm in Cube. But this is a different one, and hopefully you enjoyed that. Again, Paradoxical Storm here in Vintage. I'll go ahead and open the chesties for you guys as well. Our victory chesties. Let's see if we get any goodies. Full set or something, maybe? What did we get? Nothing too good. Some play points, a remand, the chainer from the new commander, Atarka's command. Anyways, thank you guys for watching here on the MTGO Traders YouTube channel. I don't know how much more vintage I'm going to record like this. Usually I'll just come back with drafts or whatnot, but this was a nice change of pace. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.